Are we live?
We're live.
Guys, this is our first LinkedIn Live. Do you
Woohoo!
believe this?
How exciting.
And I couldn't think of a better topic to talk about than how to turn your passion into a business, even a career. I know I've had several career changes myself and pivots in my business, all because I was discovering what my passions were. And I've got five cool friends of mine who are all in business, helping each other and themselves do the same thing. So you probably saw the flyer, and first of all, I'm glad that you're here because this is a very exciting topic. And we're not going to keep you for too long. I know it's lunchtime. Maybe you're eating while you're watching. It's all good. But we hope you can have a takeaway where you can be like, you know what? I'm ready to do something exciting. I'm ready to act on my passion. I'm ready to take that first step. So hopefully that's what happens at the end of the 30 minutes. So welcome everyone who is attending. And, I'm just going to get right to the chase. I am going to pick the first person. I think it's going to be Carol. Carol Hink, please introduce yourself. And we're going to just go around and we're going to talk about the one thing that each of us have learned that have helped us discover our passion to start our business, or other people who have been successful turning their passion to business, or those who have a career and looking to make a change. So, Carol Hink, you're up first. What is the
Hey.
one way that you've seen?
Hey, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, I guess, depending where you are on the West Coast here. So we're just still starting our morning. So it's grateful to be here, especially with you guys and everybody out there in the audience. Just to give you a quick intro to who I am and what I do. I'm a consultant specializing in helping startups and their founders create, communicate, and implement a culture of well-being to help all members thrive. In short, in a nutshell, I want to help them create a place that employees go, I love working here. And there's just nothing better than that on so many levels. So that's who I am and what I do. And as far as passion goes, I think for me, it was definitely a journey that started in 2005. For me, it was about a journey of well-being. I had a few things happen in my life, and I went on this journey of trying to find out different ways that I can heal. And I became a sponge, and I learned meditation and Tai Chi and Qigong, and had acupuncture and energy healing, and just continued that whole process just for me in my own journey, and never expected that to combine or interact with the workplace. And I kept those two worlds completely separate because of the stigma, I think, that I felt. You had to put your professional face on, and then you had your personal face, the two kept separate. So it was very interesting to have them intersect finally. And I have to say, for me, I think it was the fact that there were pain points that happened in the workplace. And that was a big repercussion of the pandemic. It had been going on in the workplace. There had been a lot of people feeling burnt out, a lot of people feeling lost and just not happy and kind of struggling, and the pandemic just brought that to a whole new level where it could not be ignored anymore. So all of a sudden, there was a major pain point. So for me, when you're looking for if you have a passion about something, if you can find a pain point that people can relate to, then you have an amazing opportunity to jump on and make a difference and offer a solution. So you're a problem solver. You want to solve create that solution that can help them. And so for me, I was able to say, okay, what is going on in the workplace? And the stats are showing it. People are leaving in droves. They call it the Great Resignation. So there's a leakage. There is a major problem. So employers and startup and founders really need to know and need some help on how to deal with this, because this is all next level from what it used to be. And so now that's where I kind of pivoted my career as a marketing communications person over to my passion. Is I found a pain point, and now I'm being part of the solution. And I think anybody who has the passion could also do the same, is to, and if you're not sure what it is, connect with those that are in your passion, that are that are somehow directly affected, and just start asking, start having conversations, and it will surface. And I want to keep the time so all of us can share, but I'm here to
That's
answer any
great.
questions that anybody might have as well.
What's interesting, what you're saying, Carol, is that your area is actually fairly new, but it's really sort of come of age because of the pandemic. Everyone's working from home. Everyone has a lot of time to reflect on, should I go back to work? Should I go back to that place? This is something that's going to be very important for those of you listening. Well-being in the workplace and benefits will probably change, right, Carol? All kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Culture. These are all very important for keeping qualified people, key talent on board, retention. So thank you for
Yep.
sharing that, Carol, for sure.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Dorothy, Ann is an overcomer coach. Dorothy, we've done an interview together. It was awesome. But for those who are joining us who don't know you, please introduce yourself.
Well, I am Dorothy Odell, and I am not only the author of the book The Overcomer, Facing Challenges with Faith and Courage. I also, like Daniel said, I'm an overcomer coach. I help people overcome their obstacles so they too can share their story. And I'm also a live show host to 2 live shows that are basically wherever you're listening to right now is where they're at. But I do have a YouTube channel, Unstoppable Overcomers, and I am like 7 away from reaching my next goal, which is 100 subscribers. So if y'all could just subscribe, that would be amazing. And definitely come onto our shows, because the Monday night show is to highlight people that have overcome great odds. Last night, I don't know if you heard Joseph Rosenfeld's story, but holy cow, his story was absolutely amazing. And if you missed it, definitely go to the YouTube channel and watch it. And Wednesday's show is all about showcasing business owners, and because there are a lot of businesses that have just started, and people need help to get their name out there, and that's what I do. And it was born. All of this was actually born at the beginning of the pandemic. I decided, I'd been talking with some friends, and I said, I should write my story. I've overcome so much. Sometimes it feels like a whole lot, especially, first time telling somebody about it. And she said, yeah, you should. And I'm like, who's going to read it? So she said she would. She was the second person to buy a copy. Actually, my husband's ex-wife was the first person, which blows my mind to this day. But I'm out here sharing my story and helping other people share their story, because I believe that we all have one, and we all connect to different people on a different level, and we all have people connected to our lives, right? So if we do not share our story and we're not out there sharing what we're doing, number one, that's selfish. Number two, you could actually save someone's life by sharing. So I had a coach that said, you're being selfish by just shutting up and keeping your light to yourself. But I'm like, what? And so she said, go live every day for a year, 5, 6 days a week. So I did. And that is why I do what I do, and why I'm so passionate about it is because I've had people say to me, hey, because of you, I didn't kill myself today, or because of you, I didn't give up, or because of you, I heard your message. So, keep going. When you think no one's even listening, they are. They may not comment, but they are listening. So that's my story in a nutshell.
I love that because, even when on any social media platform, when you are trying to gain followers and engage people, sometimes it's about the numbers, right? It's about how many followers do you have, how many likes do you have, or whatever metric people are using these days. And it really just comes down to one person. Whether or not you can reach, all you have to do is reach one person. That is enough to impact somebody's life. And also, too, I'm glad that you didn't keep it in, that you were able to share that and actually impact people. So when you're passionate about something, what I'm hearing, Dorothy, is that you should share it with people. And you should let them know that, you know, what are some of the things that you love to do? And for you, you shared your life story. You've overcome a lot. So people can start to relate to you and draw your business out of you. You start to think, wow, I could do this. I could do this full time. I really enjoy this. So did I say that right? Would you agree?
Absolutely, 100%.
So cool. So we're going to move to our guy, Kent Nelson, who has an interesting company, Functional Wellness. Kent, tell us about the company, but tell us about yourself first and how you got started.
So I'm a pharmacist born into a pharmacy independent family, grew up in the pharmacy, learned business, patient care, and opened a number of other pharmacies. So I'm an entrepreneur. I bicycle every day. I'm vegetarian. I'm all about wellness. And as I opened multiple pharmacies and then an infusion company intravenous with nursing, and at that high level, I became aware that Big Pharma, who was my partner in crime or business, you might say, had no intention of people being prevented in illness. They wanted maintenance of management of illness. And they did not want to prevent illness or be able to help people move away from taking 10, 20 prescriptions a day. And it just seemed like the whole industry has shifted, and I wanted to be in the area. But how do you monetize that? How do you monetize integrative pharmacy medicine? How do you make money in that? And so I opened a wellness component in my pharmacy, one of them, and I was selling off the others. And the ability to shift into wellness in a functional, integrative way and teach people about it was going on before COVID. And we have a measurement tool we don't sell. It's like a pulse oximeter. It's like the clip on the finger. It measures oxygen, measures antioxidants that come from fruits and vegetables. So my passion is to change America's medical system into a preventative system. And I work with clinics, doctors, especially independent pharmacies, because they all have to have multiple streams of non-insurance income, because insurance wants to commoditize us, and they don't need our personal attention for that. Amazon's a great example. So what do? I do what I did for myself to others. I bring in a functional program. I bring in a testing device that's rented, and I don't sell anything. I'm a business development, integrative therapy practitioner. And I love you guys. You're all passionate about what you do. I never thought I could monetize wellness. And I can and do. I have clinics across the US, Canada, Mexico. I mean, it's beautiful. And I've learned to use this technology that we all are on today. So thanks so much.
Now, I have to ask you this question, Kent, because when I think of preventive medicine, I'm thinking about how I grew up on a farm, eating vegetables, being a vegetarian like yourself, but finding that big pharma is this enemy. So, did you have any resistance when you first started? Being that big pharma is a big part of what you used to do.
Yeah, and I know it so well that I realized that our goals were not in sync, especially with COVID. And I saw people needing guidance, D and zinc and vitamin this and that. And this whole area is exploding because people are becoming more authentic, aware, just like all five of us. And if you, Jenny puts there, what's the name of the company and what I teach, mentor, and train, it's Functional Wellness Network. And you can get me on LinkedIn. So the key is that at first I worked with independent pharmacies, then I moved to MDs and DOs, then I moved over to wellness clinics, and I integrate this niche income piece. So I'm a business guy, but I'm also a pharmacist. I'm a clinician. I deal with patients. I have for 35 years. I think, like all of us, this passion of mine, I've figured out how to monetize, and that's what each one of us wants, right? Passion associated with what we believe in. It's beautiful. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Yes, it is a great feeling to live out your passion and for it to pay off for sure. And you have a wealth of experience to leverage that from. So you identified something that was a problem, and your passion was to solve that problem. So thank you, Kat, for sharing that.
Thank you all.
Now, we're going to take a turn because I know I have had several different career changes, and and that's also a passionate thing. I went from banking to the music business. Okay, so no judgment. We're going to talk to Amela Sanovic. We're going to hear about her career. We're going to hear about her passion. So, Amela, I'll let you take it from here. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now.
Okay, so I am the marketing manager at Sherlock Technology. We're an IT services company, and we specialize in cybersecurity. So my job is to market that. So I am not a business owner. I'm not an entrepreneur. But I did come up with a couple of things that I think are needed if you want to turn your passion into a business. And I feel like it's, you have to ask yourself if you're happy. Nobody likes waking up and going to work to a place that they don't like. So don't start a company or a business if you feel like you're not going to like it, because it becomes your life. So that's one thing I feel like I've learned through other people. And the reason I knew I liked marketing, ever since I was a kid, I liked commercials. So I knew I was weird. Most people are like, no, I don't want to watch any commercials. But for me, I feel like I always look at what the commercial is doing. What's the point? What went into making it? Or I was always interested in stuff like that. So I always knew that I liked marketing. So I feel like I'm happy with the career that I'm in. And I just hope to grow. That's really my main goal. But the second tip that I feel like I realized, if you want to turn your passion into a business, is to make sure it's not a hobby, that it's not just a hobby. I feel like you have to have knowledge in the industry that you're interested in. And thirdly is to take a leap. I feel like I often hear people say there's never a right time for something. And I feel like I'm one of those people where I'm like, oh, wait, until this gets better, until that gets better. And I feel like there's really never a good time. You just have to do it. And then lastly, is just to focus on the positives. I'm a pretty realistic person, but you also have to look at the negatives and the things that you're going to have to overcome. I feel like within a business, and just figuring out what you believe is your passion and what your innate gifts are is the key to, I feel like, cultivating a career that empowers you to do what you love, what you're good at, and what people will pay you for. So yeah, I don't have much experience in being an entrepreneur or having a business, but I feel like I've learned a lot, and I'm not an expert, but I'm grateful to be learning from such amazing people in this life. So
I have to disagree with you, because you do know about what you're passionate about and what you love, and that's all that matters. Because that's the thing. I know I felt the same way. I've had passions and I've thought of things I never want to share with people because they're weird. By the way, what is your favorite commercial? I have to ask.
Honestly, the one commercials that I really look at are car commercials. I don't know why. I like cars in general. Maybe that's why, but I always like to see what they're like. What's the point? Super Bowl commercials. I looked at them and I'm like, okay, what is the point of this Hyundai commercial? Like, why is there an electronic dog? Like, what is I'm just interested in those, I don't know, car commercials, I guess. It's weird.
It's not weird. It is not weird. that was actually really cool. So, and I'm glad that you're doing what you love because all that matters.
Yeah.
I think years ago, I was looking at a statistic. Over 78% of people who are working full time today hate their jobs. They actually hate going to work. So this topic is timely still, especially what Carol was talking about earlier about the Great Recession. It's not just about pivoting into a new business. Sometimes a passion is a new career or an area. So, my name is Daniel Evans. I'm the founder and CEO of Evans & Company. We are a financial wellness firm, and I work with primarily founders to bridge the business with their personal goals, because very often while you're running your business, your personal finances are being derailed. Your personal goals are, shipwrecked. And I help create that bridge to make sure they can do both, and to do both in a way that doesn't hurt their business, and even help them grow as well through relationships over the years. And, I've always had a passion for food, for farming, sports. I play trumpet. I've done a lot of things I love, but what Amela was sharing earlier is that most of them were just hobbies. I couldn't really see myself turning them into businesses. And then, when I got to banking and I went to the music business, I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I'm not going to be like this best-selling trumpet player. Maybe I could be in the business of doing music. Maybe I'll like that. And I actually did like it for a while. But I'm a classic jazz person, and I'm doing rap music. So not exactly where I wanted to be, but it was close enough, right? Because a lot of sampling of jazz artists and jazz fusion. So I still learned a lot about the business, but I still felt like something was missing. So that's when I started to have this moment where I was thinking, well, I know I like people and I like finance. How do I bridge those two? And for me, that was giving financial advice to people, not working with companies. And so that's what I've been doing now for the last 17 years, just helping people work through getting to their financial goals, helping them meet their goals. And maybe it's a little bit of a coaching, a little bit of advice, a little bit of putting the world into context. There's a big situation happening. That's an understatement in Eastern Europe. Lots of people are trying to figure out, what does this mean for our financial goals? What does it mean for the companies that we're invested in the portfolio? And so I help them navigate through those questions. And it's not easy because, frankly, I don't have all the answers, which is why I work with a team. And, people who are passionate about things, you need to not be afraid to ask people, what do you think about what I'm thinking about, the things that I love? Would you buy a product from me? Would you trust me? Don't be afraid to ask those questions. And also, I think your passion needs to be about people. A lot of times we start businesses because you want to be your own boss. I know that I was there. I actually started 2 companies before Evans & Company, and they both failed. I wanted to be my own boss. I didn't want to work for anybody. And those companies didn't do well because my heart wasn't in it for the customer. And so that's one thing about Evans & Company that's different than the others. My passion was for the people. My passion was to help them and to use whatever knowledge I've learned over the years to help meet their goals. So I think that's one way to know that your passion can become a business, if you are focused on the people that you're trying to help. And I think that's what we're all saying here in this LinkedIn Live. We're talking about all the ways we can help people, how we can impact them. And yes, you want to impact as many people as possible because then it becomes a business. But just start with one person at a time and just watch that grow and watch your brand take off and start to see traction and start to actually put value on it. And it's one step at a time. it's not a bunch of different things happening at once. You get overwhelmed, you might procrastinate, and you might not make it happen. So one step at a time, focus on the people you're trying to help and just hone on it and perfect it as much as possible. So we're at 12:25. How are we doing, Dorothy? I think you're modeling in the comments.
We are doing great. Yes, there was a lot of comments that we had on the show here. So, and I love what you said, Daniel. I just have to go back. To that. When you're doing it to help others, that's when your business will explode. If you're doing it just to do your bottom line, like to bring your bottom line up, then people will sniff that out of you. So if you're just thinking, oh, well, I'm just going to be a millionaire because I want to make $1 million and I don't care who or what I have to do to get there, compared to, no, I'm going to help my people on the way up. And I love what you said about helping one. I've always said at the beginning of, before I bring the guests on and we've talked in the green room, I'm like, the goal and the objective tonight is to just get one. And that is to help that person and, in any way possible, whether just telling somebody that you see them, that you recognize them, and, that you're there for them whenever they want to reach out. So I love that you said that.
Cool.
It's all about the one, helping the one.
Thank you.
Daniel, what is your last name?
Oh, my last name is Evans. Daniel Evans.
And I have to say, I'm absolutely to both of you on that. And I just want to add the other aspect. Being of service, I think, is absolutely number one, because you're going to need a lot of hours, probably, and a lot of hard work and dedication, and it doesn't even feel like work if you're passionate about it and you're helping someone. It's a total different mission. It's that servant leadership. But also, if I can add, it's also about helping each other. And that's part of like our group here, is that there's so many of us that might be solopreneurs or entrepreneurs or in the workforce, and not thinking of it as competition, but absolutely looking at it as collaboration. And that has been probably one of the most amazing side effects of starting my own business, is to have that community feel, because we're all here to be of service in some capacity, and we could get there quicker and with much more joy helping each other. And it's about putting the hand down to lift that person up, and then someone above you is doing that to you, and it just goes on. And that has been so powerful. So I encourage everybody to not be afraid to reach out and collaborate and talk to people that are starting their journey, that are ahead of you on their journey or on the same journey.
Absolutely. We do need each other, for sure. You cannot do this on your own. And, in fact, when you have people that believe in you, just, an encouraging word here and there, that goes such a long way, because so many cool things can happen when you have people believe in you. I've worked with a lot of successful CEOs, and one thing I did notice is that they have people in their corner that believe in them, that are always pushing them. I believe in you. You could do this. Are you kidding me? They're not better than you. I mean, whatever the issue is, there's always somebody in that camp that says, you can do this. You can make this happen. You're the person for the job. I can't think of anyone better. I mean, to hear that from someone, that goes a long way. And I've seen it in action. I've seen people rise to the occasion, be bold, because they had that encouragement. And so, and we're all here to help each other, to encourage each other. I'm actually so glad to be connected with all of you guys. I mean that sincerely, because such interesting businesses you guys have. And, even cybersecurity is not something I've thought about. And yet it's so important, I have clients who are trying to protect confidential documents and, sensitive material, and they have to be guarded.
Oh yeah.
And it's a reality. Yes. So these are all very important businesses, and I appreciate you all. Was there any questions, Dorothy, in there that we could take a couple?
We basically answered them as we were going.
That's good.
I did want to give a shout out to, since we're talking about this, to Tarek and Seth. They always, I feel like, support the posts that I post on the company page and my personal page. So I just wanted to give them a shout out because they are so awesome. And every single thing I post, they're so supportive. So I really just wanted to say thank you and just a little appreciation shout out to them.
You know what, Amela, I'm going to take your lead on that because there is one person named Dante Johnson. I don't know if he's on the call right now, but this guy likes my posts like within seconds from the very beginning. When no one was liking my stuff, he was always there. So Dante, I see you. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for everyone that likes my post, but I remember him because, it's sad when people like your post. It's so silly, not an emotional, psychological way, just, because you want to do things that are, resonate with people. You want to help people. That's our heart. So you want to make sure you get them the right information. So, so thank you, Dante.
Jenny has a question. I think she means Ken. Kent, sorry.
Oh, it's Kent Nelson, clinical pharmacist. I'm a pharmacist, but I'm a businessman. So it's Kent, K-E-N-T, Nelson, N-E-L-S-O-N.
Awesome. All right, guys, I think that's it. I think I'm getting hungry. My lunch is sometimes almost over. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I really wish that I was in New York so that you could cook us lunch there,
Yes.
All your videos look so amazing, Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you like vegan chorizo, you're welcome to come over. If not, more for me.
And we just want to thank our guests for joining us too today. There's been a lot of you in the comments, so I just encourage you guys to go back afterwards and just go, answer the questions even afterwards. But there's been a lot of amazing people. So thanks for showing up for us too, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys don't be afraid to follow your passions. You can build a business from it. You just have to take a couple steps. We gave you at least 5 in this 30-minute time. I hope that encouraged you, and I wish you all the best.
Talk to you soon.
Have a
Love
great
it.
day, everyone.
Bye.